My name is Chanel Shaldring, President of Supporting Girls in Sports. I think it's important to support women in sports because women have not always had the opportunities to partake in sports both on and off the field of play. For example, in Iran, women were banned from entering football stadiums. It took a young lady setting herself on fire after learning that she may face 6 months in jail after reportedly disguising herself as a male to enter a stadium for Iranian sports officials to take action and to finally allow women to attend games. We're also seeing more women breaking barriers in leadership positions. We have St. Lucian Fortuna Belrose, who is the president of the St. Lucian Olympic Committee. We have Sandra Osborne from Barbados, who is the first female president of the Barbados Olympic Association. Women were only allowed to participate, first allowed to participate in the Olympic Games in the 19,000 Paris Games through lawn tennis and golf. Fast forward to 2020, Great Britain is bringing more female participants than male participants to the Tokyo Olympics. We have athletes like Anissa Mohammed from Trinidad and Tobago, who is the first cricketer, both male and female, to get 100 T20 international wickets. Overall, women are now starting to cement themselves in sports, and for that I'm extremely proud of every woman in sport. And I want everyone to know that you can do anything you put your mind to. You can achieve all your dreams. Just keep striving and keep reaching for greatness. Thank you.
My name is Natasha Carter. I am a licensed mental health therapist for athletes, and I support all women in sports. I think it's super important to support women in sports because women are just as talented, just as athletic, just as driven and motivated and talented as any male in any sports industry. And it is already difficult for women to try to make a breakthrough in a male-dominated industry. So you should support women in sports because we're badass.
Hi, my name is Kendia, and it's important that we continue to support women in sport until we've developed that normative that both men and women are just as competitive in sport. We have to continue to support women until we've reached a level of equality that women's sports can stand on their own and hold strong. Then we need to continue to support women in sport. We need to continue to support women in sport because we have little children coming up, little girls coming up, and we need to continue to show them that there is a possibility for them to be excellent at sport and to achieve great things at sport. They need to see that mirror image, and so we need to continue to support the women that are involved.
My name is Dania Abraham, and today I'm going to tell you why you should support women's sports. You should support women's sports because women's sports cultivate leadership, self-confidence, self-esteem, and it gives female athletes or female enthusiasts a unique opportunity to become more assertive in the world of sports. Whether you're an athlete or a team doctor or a sports psychologist or anything of that nature, it gives you the opportunity to become more confident in who you are as a person. As a leader, you have to be assertive. You have to be able to make some tough calls that may not always be too popular, but it's an important skill that can be transferable in the world of work and also in life in general. I believe that cultivating young female leaders is very important so that when they grow up, they can continue that trend and become strong and capable leaders. Also, when you cultivate those leadership skills, it can give you the strength and the courage to leave unhealthy relationships. Statistics show that women or female athletes are more likely to leave abusive relationships.
Hi, I am Veronica Campbell Brown, Olympic and world champion in the sport of track and field. It is extremely important to support women in sports because for transformation to take place, there must be a level playing field for all genders. Female sports must be given the same level of support, value, and respect as male sports. By supporting women and girls in sports, we are reinforcing their roles as athletes and are giving them the opportunity to strive and perform at their best.
Hi, my name is Emily Baker.
Hi, my name is Heidi Baker.
And we believe that girls need to be supported more in sports. Girls can achieve just as much as boys, and we stand for gender equality.
Hey, my name is Joseph Paris. First off, happy anniversary to supporting girls. And why I think supporting girls in sport is important, because there were times back where you didn't have any support at all. They weren't allowed to play, they weren't allowed to do anything close to sports. So I think now is important because women need to be represented in sport equally.
Hi, my name is Rain George and I'm the treasurer for supporting girls in sports. I think it's important to support women in sports because it promotes gender equality. Over the years, athletics has helped increase self-confidence in women. Females who take part in sports have a higher level of self-confidence and self-esteem. Females who take part in sports also have a more positive body image and experience higher states of physical and psychological well-being. Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm Bridget Case, former NFL cheerleader for the Chargers, college cheerleader for the Oregon Ducks, and now current journalist and podcast host of the After Orange Slices podcast. Being involved in sports is so important to me because as a woman, we've got to fight. You guys, our spot in the sports industry, in this world, matters. So to tell other little girls that they can do it, that they can be a broadcaster, that they can be a professional athlete, we're here to set an example and to tell the men that we belong to.
My name is Marsha Boyce, and I think it is very important to support women in sport. Not only women and girls who play sport, but in other sports-related endeavors as well. So female administrators who can impact decision-making, or women in the media who can champion for greater representation and more comprehensive coverage of women's sport. Even in research and academia, where female scientists can bring informed approaches to the often overlooked physical challenges faced by sports women. I think by having women in sport, you have that much needed diversity in many areas.
Hi guys, my name is Vanilla Dustin. Just want to give you all a few points why I believe and why I think it's important to support women in sports. When you hear the word sports, what comes to my mind is my health. And I believe it is important to take care of my body and my mind, because without that, I cannot move forward. I cannot fulfill a task. I can't be a better person. And I believe we as women, we should support one another in sports, because at the end of the day, a strong body fights illnesses. And if we do not have the strength to fight an illness, that means we'll be getting sick constantly. And I believe sports has helped me, to be honest. From time I've been involved in sports, which as you can see, I'm a martial artist. I believe from time I've been involved in the art, I hardly get sick. Especially the flu that's been running around. I don't really get that. But I'm not saying I would not. I'm not saying I haven't gotten it. But as I always active, I don't really get sick. I believe that should be one important thing why we should encourage women in sports, because it's good for our health.
Hi, I'm Aaliyah Drakes. I'm a national triathlon coach and a founding member of EXO Multisport Club in Trinidad and Tobago. I see a clear gender gap in sports and think we need to encourage women and girls to pursue it. Sports helps to improve your self-esteem, boost your confidence, create positive body image, and healthy eating habits. In triathlon especially, more scholarships are being awarded to girls than ever before, so it can be a pathway to a better and brighter future.
Hi, my name is Della Sedonis and I'm a CrossFit athlete. In commemoration of the 1-year anniversary of supporting girls in sports, I'd just like to leave this message with you all. As a female in sport myself, I know that it can be hard sometimes, but it's important to stay dedicated and to work hard. Not everybody is going to understand why you enjoy your sport so much, and that's okay as long as you know why you love it and why you do it, and that's all that matters. So I just want to encourage you all to just stay committed and to support your fellow females, whether they're your teammates or your competitors. Thank you.
Female sports generally does not receive a lot of support from not only family and friends, but from the media, from coaches, sports fans, or sports watchers or enthusiasts. They don't generally support women. They don't generally support women's sports. The reasons for that varies, but in general, the reasons tend to be very sexist. That the sports enthusiasts or sports watchers don't believe that women's sports is worth watching because they don't think that it's good enough or the quality is high enough. They don't think that women even need to be playing sports, or that they should find something more ladylike or something more appropriate for them, and that they should not be running around sweating and being, physical or rough. It could be religious reasons. Certain religions don't support maybe the uniform or the attire of that sport, but I've seen that certain sports have made it possible for persons to wear a more tailored uniform that fits into their religious code of conduct. For example, Muslim athletes who have been able to wear hijabs in basketball, and I've seen some also in soccer or football. They've allowed them to cover their hair so that they would fall in line with what their religion requires them to do. The media does not cover women's sports as much as I believe they should, and the popular excuse tends to be that women's sports doesn't bring in enough ratings. The women's World Cup semi-final between England and the USA, the US women's national team proved that ratings is not an issue for women's sports, especially for the more established teams such as the US women's team and England. Ratings is not an issue. It's just the event being properly promoted, and for persons to have their preconceived notions to be edified, right? There are some very good players out there, namely Megan Rapinoe, Morgan Bryant, Carly Lloyd in soccer or football. And I believe that people need to see people supporting women's sports. Kobe Bryant was a good example of that. He was a male basketball player, but he was always at, WNBA games, and he had a young daughter who he encouraged to take up the sport of basketball, and she herself wanted to join the WNBA because he supported her and he, showed her the ropes and showed her other women who were engaged in sports and who were doing well for themselves. People need to see those images of successful female athletes, successful female team doctors, successful female sports commentators. I believe if we see those images, then we will believe that this is indeed possible, and it's a career path that I can fall into. Yeah, I think that's the key.
Hi there. My name is Connie John, and I believe we should support women in sport because sport helps promote a better psychological or emotional health. It creates opportunities that opens avenues for youths, young females to follow their dreams and just be a better part of their communities, their homes, and their lives.
Hi, my name is Shanice Beckford. Oftentimes, the capability of a woman has been questioned as to whether or not she's able to. But we have proven over and over through our many success that we are more than capable of doing so. We understand the sacrifices to be made, and we have made them. So support us as women in sports.
Hi guys, good afternoon. My name is Hilton Chester. I'm a senior national hockey player, and I would just like to say a big shout out to all the women in sport. And I just want to encourage you to keep being the best you could be, and there should be no limits. Limit yourself to nothing. Yes, men are actively involved in sports more than women, but just as much as men could do, women can do, and even more. So, big shout out to all the women in sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Calvanis Prentice. Congratulations to the Canadian and US women's national soccer teams in making the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. It is important to support women's sports, allowing people to recognize that we are just as valued as men are. Support behind any group or organization makes them stronger, more powerful, heard, and most importantly, deserving. Girls and boys admire not only men's sports, but women's sports as well. Women have accomplished many in sports, such as Serena Williams, Mia Hamm, Abby Wambach, Christine Sinclair, Lisa Leslie, Layla Ali, Ronda Rousey, Flojo, Allison Felix, and on and on. Being a part of a national team made me realize that we are more than just female athletes. We are people who can accomplish anything. Women are the nurturers of society.
Another reason why I believe we should encourage women in sports is I believe women are sensitive, especially when it comes to failing. I believe we're sensitive. Like, we make failure decrease our confidence, and it has happened to me. I've let failure make me think less of myself. It has demotivated me in many fields, to be honest. And I see, like, with sports, I believe sports has made me become a better person. It made me see things different. Like the way I used to watch life back then and now, I seen the whole world differently. And I seen how far sports can bring us. Like, sports have so much opportunity. It has so much opportunity. With sports you can travel around the world. Sports, you can get jobs in it, you can get scholarship. Like, sports has so much benefits, and I believe, like, we women, we should encourage one another to take the advantage, because who wouldn't want to be like 10 years from now we're looking 10 years younger? I believe anybody will love that, and that's one thing sports, when you stay active, I believe that's one thing it does. It don't make you age well as fast. I'm not saying we won't age, but I believe sports doesn't make us age as fast as staying home, not doing nothing, eating unhealthy. But I'm 100 with supporting women when it comes to sports, because we women, we need to be more out there, we need to be more active, because at the end of the day, if we do nothing about bettering ourselves, I believe the kind of mindset we're looking for, we believe like if we go in somewhere else we'll get it. But no, I believe sports is the right place where any woman can discover their true self. So then again, guys, be very supportive when it comes to women's sports, because at the end of the day, we women, we need the strength from our supporters. Peace.
Hi everyone, my name is Crystal Lee. I am a fourth-year medical student at the University of Guyana. What our organization does is to recognize all female athletes across the Caribbean region. We want to encourage our girls not to be scared to pursue a career in sports and to continue to break those gender barriers. Sports is important because it increases your physical fitness, but it also has a positive impact on your mental health. It also reduces the risk for chronic diseases in the long run. Women continue to make that positive statement in sports today and continue to strive for excellence.
Hi, I'm Nakish Joseph. As an athlete, I believe it's important to support females in sports. Participation in sports can boost confidence, self-esteem, and self-awareness in children and teens, especially those involved in what may be considered male-dominated sports. This results in assertive young adults who become diverse leaders, hard workers, and great team players. Whether they are coaches, trainers, agents, or players, these females encourage, inspire, and empower other young women to strive for greatness.
Nacido y criado en Puerto Rico, con padres de la isla de St. Kitts y Nevis. Soy estudiante y futbolista. Mi nombre es Ianla Bailey Williams. Es tan importante para las mujeres participar en deportes como los hombres. Aumenta nuestra confianza y nuestra autoestima y sobre todo el estado físico. Las mujeres son atléticas y capaces como cualquier hombre en el deporte, o algunas incluso podrían decir mejor.
Hi, I'm Amber Glasgow. And I'm Jada Ross. Women such as Serena Williams are leaving permanent footprints in the world of sports.
We put in just as much time, effort, and persistence needed to be champions and record holders.
And since we've had to fight to earn our rights to compete, we've actually worked harder.
So there needs to be more of us. Much more. Women provide vision, ideas, and direction coupled with talent and skill.
Imagine what a bit of physical training would produce.
Support women in sports.
Because what we can achieve in sports today
could revolutionize the world tomorrow.
To all the girls out there who are told that they play like a girl, run like a girl, throw like a girl, like all the girls out there who are told that they can't. To all the girls out there shattering boundaries, breaking barriers, carving new paths, let's stay positive, focused, because we got this. When we support each other, amazing things happen. I am Hania Bubule and I support all girls in sport.
We should be supported in sport because it is through sport that we are able to build character, self-esteem, and self-confidence.
Happy birthday, girls in sport!